Good evening, everybody. It is Charlie, and welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. It is time for the last say, as we are going to delve into and discuss in more detail yesterday's 2-0 victory over Millwall at Ellen Road, which now sees Leeds United sitting proudly at the top of the Sky Bet Championship. Just before we get into the video in more detail, make sure that you are all smashing a like on it. It really does help get the video out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new. It just obviously helps me out, and I really want to get to 3,000 subscribers as quick as possible. That would be very much appreciated. Hit the notification bell, and of course get all of your thoughts and opinions into the comment section down below and in the live chat. And make sure that you're checking out the sponsor of the channel, Mr. Josh Firth, as well. The links to his Etsy store and Instagram page are in the description for all your football graphic design needs. As I say, guys, there's 14 of you in the building at the minute. Make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing, and getting all your thoughts into the live chat. I can see there's a few of you in the building. Jay's in the building as always. Evening, mate. How we doing? Hiya, Julie. Top of the league sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds very, very good. Sup, DFG. What we're saying, mate. By the way, I've always wondered what the writing was on that ball that used to sit behind you. Was it Charlie something? Yeah, it's my full name. I've had that. It's just behind my like deodorants and things there. It's actually my full name on there, which is Charlie Hurst. But I've had that ball since I was about 12 or 13, I think. It's come everywhere with me since. So yeah, we're top of the league. We're Leeds United. Yeah, that inside Ellen Road yesterday sounded so good and it sounded so right. But when we started singing Leeds are going up, that's when even I turned around to a few people around me. I said, hold your horses there. There's still 8 games left to play. But yeah, let's get into the game in more detail then, shall we? Before we discuss the league table and everything as it stands. Let's speak about the lineup first of all. Obviously, Daniel Farke went with an unchanged lineup from the win over Sheffield Wednesday last week. I thought he would put Dan James in from the start, I can't lie, but I guess on merit, Nonto had scored against Sheffield Wednesday. He'd had a good game, so I could completely understand why he chose to put Willie into the team yesterday. Everyone else, I fully expected. It'd be nice to see Connor Roberts maybe come in and start a game for a change. I know he started against Stoke City, but other than that, we haven't really seen a lot from him. I feel like when he has made appearances so far, he has done really well. So again, it'd be good to see him more involved, I guess. But it is what it is. And like I said on my review last night, which if you haven't already, go and check that out after this. But I was saying, that first half, although I do feel Leeds United were by far the better team and were deservedly in the lead at half time, for the majority, it was quite scrappy, wasn't it? And the referee, I mean, I could sit here all night and speak about how poor the officiating is in this league, but I don't want to bore you with it because we're all not stupid, are we? We know how bad it is. But that referee just did not have a grip of the game whatsoever in that first half. No control, no discipline. There was just nothing from him. And the linesman, the bald guy that was in front of us at the South Stand end, I mean, that guy needs to get on the dole or something and, go get another job, because that was a shambolic linesman performance. He did not have a single clue what he was doing. They were fouling left, right, and centre and getting away with things. There was the road on penalty, which I don't know how on earth has the referee missed it. You see the replay, and the ref has got the perfect view of it. But that's not even the only bad thing about that. Fair enough if he didn't think it was a penalty, even though it was. But fair enough. but at least stop the game for the head injury then. He let them go all the way up the other end of the pitch and get a corner. Could you imagine if they'd have scored from that corner, the atmosphere in Ellen Road? I actually thought for a Sunday game that the atmosphere was quite good yesterday, albeit that was probably, you know, because of the fact that the victory put us top of the league, which I get that, but overall, I thought the atmosphere was really good yesterday. But yeah, as I said, Leeds United took the lead, willing onto once again, beautifully hit. Just the technique. You could see it. Obviously, was right in front of me at the south stand end, and the whip that he got on that strike. And it's his weak foot as well. I thought it was some finish from Willie. And, I thought that he had a good first half and was fully deserved of his goal. I thought the whole team, really, there wasn't a bad player in that first half, in my opinion. I thought Glenn Kamara upped his game for sure. Rodon and Ampadu were just doing Rodon and Ampadu things, just completely bossing it at the back. Thought Archie Gray was good. Firth looked decent, albeit, a bit defensively vulnerable at times, but other than that, I thought it was really good. Somerville was more involved. Bamford led the line quite well. And Rutter, it's a weird one because he ended up getting man of the match, but I still didn't think he was up to his usual standard. But obviously, we now know why, which we'll be speaking about in a little bit. But obviously, at the point that we didn't know about this injury now that he's got, but again, it makes sense now, doesn't it, as to why he's maybe not been at his blistering best over the last few weeks. But yeah, overall, guys, going into half time, I thought Leeds United were fully deserved of the lead. Why do I still remain nervous at 2-0 in injury time? Yeah, I'm the same, mate, and I feel like if you're at the game as well and you can feel the tension inside the ground, it's one of them. I think as Leeds fans, it's just instilled in us that something wrong could happen. So there was a lot of nervous faces around me yesterday until that final whistle went. I just didn't want Millwall to pull a late goal back, which meant Leeds went back into second. But yeah, good move to start, Willie, and then bring James on, as it turns out. Yeah, and, they both ended up scoring as well, which is crazy, isn't it? Millwall never really threatened us. We kept them close. Yeah. Jay, you are right there, mate. But there were moments where they had a bit of the ball and they were getting balls into the box where it probably seemed more nerve-wracking than what I actually was, really. But yeah, I felt like we massively contained them, and we were able to nullify all threats that they had. The officials get worse and worse. Tell me about it. Hey up, Owen, mate. How we doing? Yeah, all good, mate. Thank you. All good. It was scrappy like so many of our games for one reason that you have pointed out. The refs. Yeah, I think that's all it was. Millwall had a clear game plan in that first half, and that was to frustrate us as best you can. Thought Grove and Kamara were excellent. Yeah, they were. Really good partnership in that midfield. Have you seen Rutter needs surgery 10 days out? Yeah, exactly, mate. We'll be discussing that in a little bit. That was the worst part. The fact it was a head injury and he didn't stop. Yeah, exactly. The fact that he didn't give a penalty, you can kind of get over. But if they'd have scored from that, corner, Jay, you were at the game yourself, mate. You can imagine what the atmosphere would have been like. Good thing we've got a surgery, so he shouldn't miss any matches. Yeah, exactly. You know what? We'll speak about it after I've spoken about the second half because there's a lot of people on about it here. Yeah, he will. That's the point I think you've brought up on a previous stream as well, mate, which is bang on. Yeah, exactly. I've watched the highlights earlier on today as well, and they didn't really offer much, did they, at all, really? So yeah, obviously moving into the second half, I thought Millwall came out second half and actually tried to play football a little bit more. But again, without any real threat, thought we managed to nullify them quite well. The likes of Zhang Fleming, who I feel like is probably their best attacking threat, was barely in the game. I thought Tanganga at the back was quite poor as well, given he is on loan from Spurs. There was high praise for him at one point by Jose Mourinho. I didn't think like it was great. I thought Bamford handled him quite well. But yeah, I thought Leeds grew in to the game more as it went on, not discrediting us in the first half. I thought Leeds were very good in that first 45 minutes, but as the game went on, we got more comfortable. We got on the ball a little bit more, and things started to happen even more. There was a number of chances. There was the ones that Rutter missed. James hit the post after he actually scored, so it could have been more. But obviously, Dan James takes his goal, and look, I've watched it numerous times back today, and he actually has hold of the ball before he shoots for about 2-3 seconds, if that. In the ground, it felt like he had hold of that ball for about half an hour. And it was the weirdest reaction to a goal I think the South Stand's ever witnessed, because you just expected him to tap it in at the back post. But he had all the ball and everyone's like kind of waiting to celebrate. Like, and we're all kind of just looking about as if to say, what's going on? And then he shot and it went in, but it was a bit of it wasn't pure limbs. It was more like an Old Trafford atmosphere. And I don't want to say that on here, but like where it's kind of just clapping without any real celebration. That's the only like sort of way I can describe it. But that's what it felt like. It was the weirdest goal ever, but it went over the line, and that is ultimately the goal that has led to Leeds United sitting at the top of the Championship. And like I said, after that, I thought Leeds managed to control the game. Like I said, they had elements. There was that good save from Illan Melia, which actually ended up being offside, but it was a good header. It was looping in. You could see from where I was, that was going in if he hadn't have got there. So yeah, like I say, guys, all in all, a very comfortable and a very good victory against a solid, gritty, frustrating team in this division in Millwall. And even their manager Neil Harris said after the game that Leeds deserved the win. And when the opposition manager's saying that you really did dominate a game. So yeah, let's just get into some comments. Yeah, you could argue that, I guess, mate. You could. In September, a lot of Leeds channels were suggesting Share or Fleming as signings, but I think we have better in our team. I don't remember anyone mentioning Fleming, but Elias Chair is someone that I would still have now. But obviously, he's got this weird prison thing going on away from football. I think I'm sure I saw online that he was being sentenced to a year in prison. But then he's still been playing games for QPR, so God knows what's going on there. Last season, I would have been a nervous wreck during a game like this, but this season, especially since I've been a bit more chilled, but I wouldn't say I'm completely chilled. I am still nervous, and I think as the games go on, like if it comes down to a game where if Leeds win, we're promoted, whether it's the Middlesbrough game away, maybe, or the QPR away, or Southampton, sorry, at home on the final day, I will be, I could lose control of my bodily functions. I'll be that nervous, believe me. I've timed it, Charlie, and James held the ball for a week. Yeah, I mean, it felt like that. It absolutely felt like that, mate. It was a weird goal, that really, really weird goal. I'll give you a shout out, mate. No problem. Leeds United Nation podcast. Owen, he's recently started his channel. Some good content over there from him, guys. So make sure that you go and check him out. Like, comment, and subscribe for him as well. Let's help the up and coming Leeds United content creators. The James goal was right in front of me. I think majority of us did. Yeah, like I've watched it back. It takes a few deflections, doesn't it, to go in. That's one of them where if he doesn't score it, we are absolutely hammering him if he doesn't put that ball in. But thankfully for his sake, it ended up going in. Funny James held it, so they'd commit and he'd have a clear shot. But it looks, yeah, exactly. I watched the Millwall feed and their pundits were hugely biased, but still admitted it was a Stonewall pen. They're going to be though, aren't they? Chair is... Oh, right, so he's appealed it. Is that why? Right. Connor at one lead said Fleming, fair dues. James shot that at the post would have been... Yeah, that'd have been a good goal as well. And no worries, mate. No worries. So, yeah, let's just... obviously, I feel like Twitter last night was brilliant. Loads of people who had clearly bookmarked tweets, clearly, saved screenshots, kept receipts, from Ipswich fan accounts, Southampton fan accounts, and more hilariously, Leicester fan accounts, and just random tweets that these fans have been writing about us over the course of this season. Those Leicester fans saying that, they're already promoted, the rest are just fighting to go up and they're not involved in the race. And, Leeds acting like we've won the FA Cup when we beat them that night. And, their manager coming out saying, it's just another game to us, but it's a huge, huge game for Leeds. Now, there's a graphic going round of, when Leicester were beating Leeds 1-0 on that night at Ellen Road. Leeds were, I believe, 12 points behind at that point in the game when they were winning. So the fact that we are now level on points with them, but top of the league on goal difference, and I know I even had an Ipswich fan on my TikTok account today. I shared a little clip from the review of the game last night on my TikTok page. And I even had an Ipswich fan coming in the comments and saying, yeah, but Leicester have got a game in hand. First of all, why are you sticking up for Leicester when you're in this race as well? And two, the amount of accounts and the amount of opposition fans that keep saying, Leicester have got a game in hand. Leicester have got a game in hand. Southampton have got 2 games in hand. Right, well, games in hand does not mean that it equals points on the board. The fact that these teams have got games in hand is a good thing for Leeds, in my opinion. Yeah, those games in, Leicester could win that game in hand. Fine. But, the fact that they've got to play Southampton in the penultimate week before the season ends, that could end up being a huge game for Leicester. And the nervousness, the pressure, it will all be on them, and that could work in our favour. Because let's be honest, in situations where they've been under pressure this season, they haven't done well, have they? Because we've beaten them twice. Ipswich have drawn with them twice. The only night of this season where they looked comfortable against a top team was against Southampton at St Mary's when they hammered them 4-1. But I think Southampton could give them a little bit of a tougher test this time. I actually think Leicester will beat Southampton in that game in hand. I do. But, psychologically now, that they're out of the cup. They got beat by Chelsea yesterday. And then they'll have seen that result. And psychologically, they will be down about it. They'll be looking at it thinking, how on earth were we 17 points clear on New Year's Day? And then now on the 18th of March, Leeds are top of the league. Do I think Leeds will win the league? It's a question that I keep answering. I keep saying, no, I don't. But I must admit, the longer it goes on, the more consistent that we are becoming. I'm not saying I'm there yet, saying that we will, but my head is starting to turn a little bit, and my opinion is starting to change slightly. I do think we've got a very, very good chance of doing it. But that Easter weekend after the international break is going to be very, very telling as to what happens for the rest of the season. Both teams, all three teams, sorry, all four teams have got interesting games. On Good Friday, you've got Ipswich going to Blackburn, which could be a bit of a weird one for them. Leicester have got Bristol City away. Now, Southampton, as we all know, have struggled there, and they did get beat. And we've got Watford away. I'll be honest, I do think we beat Watford. I'll be honest as well, I think Ipswich will beat Blackburn. But I think Bristol City could at least get a point against Leicester, which would put Leeds United 2 points clear going into the game against Hull on Easter Monday. Now, on Easter Monday, Southampton have got Ipswich. So someone's going to drop points there. Someone is going to drop points. I can see that being a draw. And I believe Leicester have got, I'm going to confirm. Leicester have got Norwich, I thought it was. Leicester have got Norwich, who, other than Leeds, I'd say Norwich are the informed team in this division, apart from us. So, again, very interesting games happening after this international break. And, it's definitely not over yet. Definitely not over yet. Fixture pile up for them could mean they fall out of the top two. Yeah, they really could. Could you imagine seeing Leicester in the playoff spaces, even if it's just for a few days? I'm only really concerned about the away games where I think we could get to. Yeah, but Coventry, look, I know they've got to Wembley in the FA Cup, but if you look at their league form, I think they're 8th in the league, 4 points off playoffs. So, that is really that's just one of them. Means Naffle, we've got points in the bag. Yeah, games in hand do not matter. Yeah, there you go, 100%. I think that's when we move the Norwich game forward instead of back as far canoe if we put. Yeah, exactly. That was smart, that. And look, we got that one over the line as well, didn't we? If you gave me 99% of winning the league and 1% chance of playoffs versus 100% chance of second place, yeah, I would take the second place all day long, mate, as long as it meant we go up. We seal promotion by mid-April and win the league at QPR. Bookmark it. I don't know, Jay. I do still think the top two will be Leeds and Leicester. But I agree, actually. The more it goes on, I can't see it going down to that Southampton game. I don't think we'll need anything in that game. I think at the very latest, it'll be the QPR game that we clinch promotion. I just think the games that Ipswich have got, they've got to play Norwich still, which is a derby game away from home. I can see Norwich getting something there. They've got to play Southampton on Easter Monday. They've got some tricky fixtures, as do we. I think Hull at home could be. I'm very nervous for that Hull game at home because they are a good side away from home, aren't they? But yeah, and then Leicester. They've got Bristol City, Norwich. It'll be very, very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, the longer it goes on, I don't think it'll come down to the Southampton game. But if it does, we just have to deal with it, don't we? Very likely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You read my mind. Yeah, 100%. Let's just briefly speak about Rutter then. As a few of you have already mentioned it, obviously Rutter is expected to be out for the next 10 days due to him having minor hernia surgery, I believe it was. Look, if it's only the 10 days and he's back for the Watford game, fine. even if he has to miss the Watford game and maybe we have a free in behind Bamford of Somerville, Nonto, and James, I think that is definitely sufficient enough to go to Watford and get 3 points. As long as he's available for the whole game, I have no dramas about him missing the Watford game if it means that he's good for the rest of the season. But it is a bit of a worry. Of course, is arguably our best player, or at least one of our best players. So without him, we could lack a bit of creativity, but I have every faith that whoever comes in can do a job there in his place. But again, we need him available for our more tougher fixtures. I think Watford on paper should be a win. Again, I'm not saying it definitely will be because you never know in this league, but it should be a win. So if he was to miss one of those 2 games, I'd rather it be the Watford one over the Hull one. But obviously, I wish him all the best. Hopefully he's back next week and we can forget about him being injured. All decent, but it's the SHIT houses that we struggle against. Yeah, it is. Rotor surgery might be a very clever bit of timing. Yeah, 100%. And like I said earlier, it's clear to see now, isn't it, why he's maybe not been at his blistering best over the last few weeks, because he's been carrying a bit of a knock. And it's good that he gets it dealt with now so that he's fit, ready and firing for the remaining 8 games of the season, the business end of the season, which will hopefully, fingers crossed, see Leeds United at the top of the league or even just in the top 2 and promotion to the Premier League. And, I just find it so funny, guys, how all these opposition fans, they all wrote us off. Like that Saints account, Leeds are out the picture. Come on, mate. Come on, we are never out of the picture. We have never, ever been out of the picture. And, who's got the last laugh now? Us. We're in the international break, top of the league, informed team in the division, 12 wins out of 13 games in 2024, 3 goals conceded, no goals conceded in open play. What more is there to be said? That's why by each game now, I'm growing more and more confident that we will be promoted to the Premier League. Guys, there's 33 of you in the building. If you wouldn't mind, on the way out of this video, make sure you are smashing that like. Please subscribe if you are brand new. It's completely free for you to subscribe, and it helps me reach 3,000 subscribers as quick as possible. Hit the notification bell so that you are aware of when I'm uploading and going live. And make sure you're getting your comments in after the stream has ended. And check out Josh Firth's links, a sponsor of the channel. His links are in the description. Couldn't get my words out there. In the description for all your football graphic design needs. Not sure when I will be back on the channel, if I'm honest, guys. Obviously, international break now, not a lot to speak about. If there's anything worth reacting to or any topics that I feel is worthy of a video, then I will be back on the channel. Don't you worry, I will keep you entertained when I can. But yeah, like I say, guys, really do appreciate everybody that has dropped by and dropped a comment and watched this evening's live stream. I really do appreciate all the love and support that I am getting at the minute. It's very, very much appreciated, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So yeah, like I said, make sure you are liking, commenting and subscribing. Enjoy the rest of your night and your week, guys. Have a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.